Welcome to the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Bellomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law, and well, hey, anything else we want to talk about. Today, I am joined by my dear friend, Fran Gibbons, with the Alzheimer's Association. Fran, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, Jeff. It's so good to see you, and I'm
Oh,
so excited to be on this.
I have waited a long time for this podcast. We have certainly known each other for a long time, and I'm really looking forward to the conversation. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I just want to remind my listeners, as always, please do not take what you hear from this show or any other show for that matter to constitute legal advice. If you are looking for legal advice in a certain area, please call the attorney who is licensed in the state that you reside in, who practices in the practice area that you are looking for advice in, and then and only then should you meet with the attorney and consider that legal advice. Take what you hear from this show and any other show as informational, educational, and entertainment purposes. At Bellomo and Associates, we educate so that what happened to my family doesn't happen to yours. We offer free educational workshops in estate planning, crisis Medicaid planning, life care planning, special needs planning, and administration, both probate and trust administration after the loss of a loved one. If you're looking for educational information in regards to a topic, please give our office a call at 717-845-5390 or check us out on the web at www.bellomoassociates.com. That is B as in boy, ELLOMO for Bellomo. Thank you. All right. So, Fran, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm the Senior Director of Development for the Greater Pennsylvania chapter. That means I just cover a lot, which is great. But I do bring in the funds so that we can do our Alzheimer's care supported research. Um, as a caregiver for my father, similar to, Jeff, we have similar stories,
Yeah.
that brought me into the association and wanting to do the work that I do because every day is a struggle. And I want to make sure that I'm here for my constituents, that we're able to educate, get them the resources that they need,
Yeah.
and share their stories.
What does a typical day look like? Because I know it's crazy. So it might give people an insight into what kind of things you're doing on a daily basis.
From a development perspective, so I am catching up with partners and sponsors and teams and doing that peer-to-peer fundraising for our Walk to an Alzheimer's program, which is the largest fundraiser for Alzheimer's care support and research. And we have about 600 of those nationwide. But I do a little bit of everything because I'm the only person that sits in our senior leadership team here in Lancaster. So I help with Hispanic summits, like the one that we have coming up here in June. So talking and educating our Latino community as a Latina myself. I am on the phone talking to constituents that are dealing with the disease and helping them connect to our helpline and working with partners like you to educate and raise awareness.
And I know you were a caregiver to your father, but why the association? What got you into this line of work? I mean, was that purely it, or was there anything else that kind of led you there?
So I came to the association wanting to learn more about dementia.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about it. My father was diagnosed in 2014, and I was like, I need to know more. No background in fundraising or development work.
Okay.
I'm a people person. I actually have a history and law degree. Yeah.
Oh
So
man, I'm
I,
sorry.
I worked for the county for many years with juvenile delinquents, and then there was an opportunity, and I love working with people, and here I am, 8 years later, the senior director.
Wow, that is crazy. And you do you cover York as well, Fran?
So I cover territory wide.
Okay.
Think of Lancaster all the way over to Johnstown.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out to your people from Johnstown because I know that you
Yeah.
have some there.
Heck
All
yeah.
all the way over to the New York border and as far as the Maryland border. So I have about 42 counties that I'm helping oversee.
I know you said that, but I clearly missed that. I didn't register. Holy cow.
I did start with Lancaster and York when we first met eight
Okay.
years ago. So I
Okay.
was the event manager for the Lancaster and York walk. So they'll always pay a special place in my heart. I like Lancaster and York are my stomping grounds, as I call
Yeah.
it.
Wow. And for those who are not familiar, I know you touched on it briefly, but talk a little bit about the walk and how people can get involved in that. It's such a great a day, and it's just a wonderful giving opportunity. So tell us about the walk and what it does and how people can get involved.
Absolutely. As I said before, our Walk to End Alzheimer's program is our peer-to-peer fundraiser nationwide for Alzheimer's care support and research. And 76% of the funds that are raised are they stay within the community to help with support groups, train individuals to go and do educations, to have local research be done right here and there. Um, as we have about $5 million being done here in the state of
Wow.
Pennsylvania. And we ask that people join us because we also work with partners to provide um, resources and services that they have for those living with the diseases. Um, and it is free to register. There are incentives if you hit those marks. So we want our participants to try and hit that mark of getting earning their t-shirt. They can either raise or donate $100 and they get that. But it is a family event. And each individual shares their story as to why they're living or work or dealing with this disease. So they hold, as you see behind me, those pinwheel flowers
Yep.
in different colors. So we have our purple, which means that you lost someone to the disease. Yellow, that you're a caregiver. So I carry that one. Um, Orange, that you're an advocate. And then blue is that you're living with Alzheimer's or any related dementia because that's what we are. We cover all of the dementias.
Oh, that's incredible. Now, I don't know that we've had one recently, but I do have to talk about the Sing for a Cure. I still to this day have people that remember that. First, I have to ask, were you there that night?
I was so there that
Oh,
night.
that's what I.
I was one of the judges.
Oh boy, I'm sorry. I'm very very sorry for you and having to deal with that. So what we're talking about is a few years ago. Was it 2019?
2019, yes.
Sing for a Cure. I believe it was at York College, if my memory serves. And basically, it was a lip sync competition. And so there were a lot of wonderful acts that night, and there was some bad acts like me. And I did a little rendition of Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, and the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. So,
It was absolutely amazing. Hopefully you can add that video here. If not, we'll share it via social media again. It was a great event. As Jeff mentioned, this was an event led by our Visiting Angels team.
yep.
Um, Angels on the Move. They did wanted to create this lip syncing competition, but it was across all ages, all kinds of individuals, including Jeff. And we used some of that video during COVID to raise awareness for the Alzheimer's Association too. Do you
Yeah,
remember that?
I do. Yeah, you did like another one, but using the videos and stuff, right?
Yeah, when we couldn't get together, we just used the
Yeah.
videos from before and we did tidbits, sharing the facts and figures of the association. I think it was in 2021 and
Yes.
sharing the information because we couldn't come together, so we had to remind everyone of the times when we were able to come together and have a good time.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I loved it. I don't know how much we raised that night, but it was certainly great camaraderie and a lot of great people. So,
I have to say, in combination with the matching funds that Visiting Angels received, I know that year was, I think, over $100,000 that collectively all partners
well,
raised through that program. So it was great work. We had
yeah,
so much
wow.
fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I That was a little self centered there as far as just it was fun, it was enjoyable, and I'm self-deprecating for sure. It was a lot. We enjoyed it. So we'll definitely see if we can't find that video and post it. And something tells me if I tried to lose it, you would find it. So
I will.
yeah,
I know someone who has it, but
yes,
we've done a couple of different initiatives because you did the celebrity bartending event in Lancaster a couple of years back too.
that was fun too. I'm a sucker for Fran. There aren't many people in my life that I can't say no to, but she's one that I cannot say no to. So anything to support the association and just my dear friend Fran, and that was fun too. I mean, that was what, a decades, I think was.
It was at decades, and you were, I think you were with pair with Lee Horn,
I
one of
was.
our Edward Jones financial advisors and one of our board members. And it's just the way that we are able to connect, and then you guys can do further work than in the future, which I know
Yeah,
that you guys connected, and it was
yeah,
great.
it was awesome, and we did, and we still do, and it was definitely a lot of fun that night as well. And I think if I'm not wrong, Jess did another one in a subsequent year, and she did a celebrity bartending thing too, I think, for the
She
association.
did. So we
That's
had
awesome.
two back to back, and Jess came to us last year through you, Jeff. So and it was great. And Jess is right now, and I'm very thankful, serving as our co-chair for the York Walkton Alzheimer's, and she's doing an amazing
That's
job.
right. I forgot all about that
Yeah,
actually. Yes, that is awesome.
she's doing a great job, and she was able to attend leader summits in New Orleans with us,
She
and
loved that.
she came back as, a sponge. I had so many text messages from her as to like things that she was planning on doing and that she's implementing now. And it's been great and been very great.
Yeah, she's definitely a big fan, as we all are here at the firm, and certainly do everything we can to help, anytime. But Ben, those are some great events. We're going down memory lane today, so it's kind of fun for me to kind of remember some of those wonderful things that we have done. So,
Yes.
Fran, one question I'm wondering, that I hear in my practice, if a family member is starting to show signs of dementia, or maybe there's a diagnosis that has been given, or Alzheimer's, or whatever, and they're in that arena, how do they learn more about the association and what the association can do for them? I mean, is it as simple as go on our website, or is there more that you would say to them?
I say the first two things. The website is right there
Okay.
for you. There's so many links and resources at your fingertips. But our 1-800 helpline is probably the one that I recommend people to call.
Okay.
It's, 1-800-272-3900 in over 200 languages, but they're master level clinicians that can do what we call a care consultation right there on the phone with you and kind of
Wow.
help you navigate resources. Even if they do need an elder law professional like yourself, they're able to bring up information depending on zip codes and give them that kind of research and information. So they're really there to help support you. Or even if you just needed to talk and
Wow.
vent, they're there for you.
That's incredible. I'm sure I've known of that, and I think as much as you know stuff, you forget it too, right?
You do. But I mean it's just a resource for people to be able to call and ensure that they're being heard. If there's anything locally, then myself and our team here locally gets that information. We can then connect depending on what the partner is needed. But they're they're our hub, that 1-800-272-3900. First line of
Awesome.
defense for people to call.
And the website is just alzheimers.org, or?
Yes, www.alz.org. If you're looking for things specific to Greater Pennsylvania, then it's that /GPA.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So call, website, if you think you need help, or if you think you just need to talk to somebody or look for resources. And if there is somebody who is looking to donate, what would be the best way for them? The website again, or?
Yes, they can go onto the website at that www.alz.org. It does give them different options because even though Walked in Alzheimer's is the largest and our largest fundraising event, we also have a signature event called the Longest Day.
Yes.
That one is shining the light on caregivers because for them it is the longest day every day and held on the summer solstice. So it's a DIY kind of event. So that we do have different fundraising options. And if people just want to donate, there is a way of donating, or if they want to donate specifically to research, you can put your money where you want it to be put. So I
Wow.
say go onto the website first and then decide how
Yeah.
you want to raise funds.
And I have spoken a lot of times on that day in different organizations. So that certainly a great event as well. It's wonderful. One of the naive questions that I have is is there a physical office in Lancaster for people to go to, or is it all done on website and by phone?
So I don't have a physical office here in
That's what I
Lancaster.
thought.
Our closest office is in Harrisburg. Um, when COVID happened, some of our little satellite offices did close, but we're here remotely in the offices. And as I say, I go into all of your guys' offices and work out of there, our partners, our
Right.
loyal partners. But that shouldn't stop you from reaching out to the association. We are in the community a lot.
Yes.
So if we need to meet with you, we will meet in the community.
That's incredible. And the one thing that I do want to reiterate, and you did say it, is that you guys do work with all forms of dementia.
All forms of dementia. Yes.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's is just the most known. So I try to tell people the analogy of think of dementia as ice cream and Alzheimer's as the flavor vanilla that everyone knows.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You know what? I've never heard that analogy, but I kind of like that. Yeah. And there are certainly different forms of dementia and different forms of uh, what people will see or be diagnosed with. And I think that's something that's always confusing to people is, well, I can't call the association because he wasn't diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He was diagnosed with dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's dementia is the umbrella term for all of those things happening. So that loss of memory, change of personality, and then Alzheimer's is just a type of dementia. So that's why I think of it as an umbrella term. I try to use that ice cream analogy for people to understand like it is dementia. Alzheimer's is just the most known. People can have frontotemporal. My father has Parkinson related dementia.
Okay.
There's Lewy body. There's, I think, over 200 different dementias, I believe was the last time that I saw one of our um, notes. So I can double check on that to give you fact check it. But there's a lot of dementias. So, and everyone's journey is different because everyone's brain is different. So I want to make sure that I overemphasize that.
Yeah, a lot of people will, when they come in after they've been diagnosed, they'll, how much time, do I have to do this or do that or make decisions or get documents in place or before I pass or there's no one, like every single individual is different. Every brain is different. Every situation is different. So I'm glad you said that because I think people just have this tomorrow I won't be able to make a decision. No,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that.
And I mean, I've had individuals that I've worked with that have been diagnosed and still living with the disease 20 years later.
Yeah.
And then I've had individuals that are diagnosed and have passed within 6 months.
Right.
So it just depends. And it's that early intervention, it's that early diagnosis. And I mean, for someone like you, it's that early planning. You never know when things are going to change. And if you're not a planner, listen, when I came to the association, I became a planner because you see all of the numbers. You see how much it costs to have someone live at a long term care community, or someone has to get home health agencies to help them in their home, or how do I protect my assets if I'm under the age of 60 and I still have to work to, raise my children, but I have
Yeah.
a loved one going into a community. That is why people like you're here to help them plan. You
Mm.
have to plan. I know it sounds crazy. Don't wait until you get a diagnosis. Plan ahead.
Yeah. And that's what we hear all the time is, well, I'm only 60. I'm only 65. Someone the other day say I'm only 85. Like, but that doesn't mean that something couldn't happen tomorrow to you and I. I mean, we're maybe a little younger than those ages, but it's never too early to know what your future is going to look like, and plan for it in case something happened.
Yeah.
My joke
I,
always is if you plan, it probably won't happen. I mean, but if you don't plan, inevitably, it seems like it happens more, sure, it doesn't more frequently, but it certainly feels that way to people who haven't planned.
right. And I mean, currently we have a board member who's in her 40s living with the disease.
Oh, no.
Children that are in just graduating from high school, going to college. never in 1,000 years did she think this was going to be her journey, and she advocates for that. Like, it is okay to plan ahead of time because you never know. You
Wow.
never know.
What a heck of a story there. Wow. Well, I'm certainly glad that you found the association. You're a wonderful gem and a great resource for everybody. Do you have any advice for anyone who's recently gotten the diagnosis or anything before we end today to kind of, bring it together? Or what would you say to someone?
I would say if there's a diagnosis, or if there's a fear, first of all, if there's a fear, talk to your doctor, talk to your PCP, or if not, a community leader, whoever. Talk to someone, talk to a doctor, and get some kind of diagnosis, because sometimes it's not dementia, but make sure that you're crossing your T's and trying to make sure that everything's good. If there is a diagnosis, or you're waiting on a diagnosis, whatever the case may be, please call our 1-800 number. Again, 1-800-272-3900. They're master level clinicians that can help you get some resources right then and there. As a caregiver, there's so many resources online too, but we were just before this all started, we were talking about how a dear friend of ours who was someone who was caring passed away before the person living with the disease. So take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself means planning, getting help, and calling that 1-800 number if someone that you love has been diagnosed, so that we can help you.
That's amazing. And the website, alz.org, I believe.
Yeah. The website's www.alz.org. And there's so many different tools, and there's so many different partners, especially in your county, that can provide help and support for those
Yeah,
with this.
absolutely. Wow. Well, Fran, thank you. I knew the time would fly by. There was no doubt in my mind when the two of us get together. It's always fun. It's always enjoyable. Thank you to my listeners for being here today on the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show. If you're looking for any information in regards to the Alzheimer's Association, please contact them on the number she provided, as well as at www.alz.org, and they will definitely be able to provide assistance. If you're looking for any information in regards to estate planning or elder law, please check Bellomo and Associates out at www.bellomoassociates.com. That is B as in boy, ELLOMO for Bellomo. And the phone number is 717-845-5390. Thank you to my listeners for joining us on the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show. And until next time, we'll see you real soon.